Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here for another waiver wire episode. Now, for a lot of you, last week was your very first week of the playoffs, so I hope that the majority of you won that week and are now going to the semi-finals of your fantasy playoffs. If so, congratulations. Keep going strong and you will take home that fantasy hockey trophy. Now, for the other half of you, this is your first week of the fantasy playoffs. So congratulations on making the fantasy playoffs. And it's definitely important that you prep for this week because it's a bizarre week with very few games on the off nights. So definitely a week that you want to be prepping for. Before we jump into the content, guys, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, guys. And if you do want to take your support to the next level, check out the link to my Patreon down in the description below, guys. I give all sorts of perks like being able to DM with me one-on-one, and I'll try to answer all the fantasy hockey questions that you have. Let's jump into my content now, guys, and let's take a look at the schedule for this week 24 or week 1 or 2 of the playoffs, however your league format is. On Monday, March 25th, there are 2 games. On Tuesday, there are 12. Wednesday, there are 2 as well. Thursday, there are 14. Friday, there's only 1 game. Saturday, 15. And Sunday, also only 1 game. So as you can see, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday are super busy nights. Now, guys, I'm probably going to do a live stream before Saturday with Max so that we can help you guys set your lineups the absolute best, because every single team except for 2 is playing on Saturday. So definitely probably going to do a live stream to help you guys set your lineups that day. But for now, guys, I'm going to try to help you make all the best ads that you can. And as you can see, guys, there are very few games on the off nights of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. So it's super important to optimize your lineup and make sure you have the maximum amount of players playing on those days, because your busy nights are going to be busy. I can almost guarantee you that if you check your schedule right now, you are full on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and you probably don't have any more room to add players for those specific days. So I'm sure some of you are wondering, who does have the good schedule this week? Well, there's no team with an amazing schedule, but the team with the best schedule is the Buffalo Sabres, who play Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Yeah, they play consecutive off nights, Wednesday and Friday, on days where there's only 2 games and 1 game respectively. So that's definitely the team that you want to be prioritizing your ads from. And then the Vancouver Canucks schedule is pretty freaking good as well, with the off night on Monday and Sunday as well. And then almost no teams actually play 4 games this week, and there only are 2 teams that play 4 games. Those teams are Anaheim and Vegas, and unfortunately both of those teams only have 1 off night. But hey, it's better than no off night, and I think that having players, like good players from Anaheim and Vegas, is definitely going to help you this week. Maybe a guy like a Jack Eichel definitely could help you win the week, because you're going to be playing him all those busy nights anyway. Now we're talking about teams with a bad schedule. There are 4 teams that only play 2 games this week, which is not really that great. Those teams are Minnesota, New Jersey, the New York Islanders, and Tampa Bay. Now, at least New Jersey and Tampa Bay actually play one of their games on an off night, so that actually kind of helps considering how sparse those off nights are. But it's definitely not ideal playing 2 games, and if you have some low-owned players from these teams, especially Minnesota and New York Islanders, you definitely can consider dropping them for this week, especially if you're not going to be playing them anyway. Jumping into forward options now, guys, the number 1 guy I have on this list is Jeff Skinner of the Buffalo Sabres. 70% roster, so just squeaked into this list. But guys, Jeff Skinner, I understand, is super boomer bust. He'll do absolutely nothing one night, and then the next night score a hat trick, just like he did the other night. He is a guy who's very unpredictable. However, having him on your team for these off nights this week is going to be very helpful. Definitely someone I'll be recommending a lot. Definitely someone I'm going to be owning in as many leagues as I can. Owen Tippett, the Philadelphia Flyers, 65% roster, is a dude who's super underrated. The dude's playing top line, top power play, scores a lot, and shoots the puck a lot. Definitely someone who can really bolster your team at this point. Dylan Cousins of the Buffalo Sabres, also for those off nights, is currently playing on the line with Zach Benson and JJ Peterka, but is also getting top power play time. So he should be a pretty solid ad for those off nights as well. Lucas Raymond of the Detroit Red Wings, 50% rostered, is someone who's very, very hot right now, and I definitely don't mind taking a shot at him right now. You need guys who are hot to win you that fantasy hockey trophy. Brian Rust is another guy who's super hot, getting top line deployment as well as top power play deployment. The dude's been really, really good all year as long as he's been healthy, so definitely someone I like a lot. Jake DeBrusk and Pavel Zacha. Funny that they're both here on this list, and I did also mention Zacha last week. The Bruins are insanely hot right now. And as long as they keep playing the way they are right now, DeBrusk and Zacha actually have a lot of value, which is crazy. Just make sure before you add either of these guys that you would actually be playing them, because they play on mostly the busy nights. They do have one off night though, so I wouldn't mind adding them for that specific night either. They're both playing in the top 6. Zacha's getting top power play time, but both are solid adds right now. Ryan Hartman is someone who's playing really well right now, playing on the second line as well as the top power play in Minnesota, and the dude is very, very hot right now. The reason he's not my favorite ad for this week specifically, though, is because I did mention that Minnesota really doesn't have a great schedule. They only play 2 games, and both games are on busy nights. However, if you're going along this week, you're doing pretty well, and you know later in the week that you're going to be winning this week, go ahead and add Ryan Hartman. The Wild play 4 games next week, and that definitely could be a pretty deadly ad if he stays hot. Nick Schmaltz is someone who's very hot right now as well, playing top line, top power play, putting up points seemingly every single night. Definitely someone I like a lot right now, and if you have room on the busy nights somehow, he's a good ad. Evgeny Kuznetsov of the Carolina Hurricanes is doing very well right now as well. Playing on the second line and second power play in Carolina, but with Svechnikov and Necas 5-on-5, that's a pretty freaking good line, and Kuznetsov has done very, very well so far. Then I have Chandler Stevenson, or as I wrote here, Channy Stevenson, because his full name didn't fit, but Chandler Stevenson has been playing very, very well as of late for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's playing actually currently as a left wing on the second line with Nicolas Roy and Anthony Mantha. He's also getting time on the second power play, which is a pretty good power play that also features Jonathan Marchessault. So definitely a pretty decent deployment right now, and as long as he's producing guys, we know how good Chandler Stevenson can be. So definitely someone that I like adding a lot right now. Mikael Granlund is someone who I did consider making my MANSAPED must-add player of the video because he's producing points very, very consistently on a very bad team, but he's continuously doing it because someone's got to put up points, and he is the guy doing it in San Jose right now. Like me some Mikael Granlund a lot. Garnet Hathaway is someone, if you're in a bangers league or some kind of cats league where you have hits that count, or even a points league where hits count as a decent amount of points, Hathaway is a nice ad right now. The dude's hitting like absolute crazy right now. I cannot believe how much he's hitting, and he's a good replacement for a guy like Jeremy Lauzon, who is pretty much out for the playoffs. Garnet Hathaway could definitely fill that void for hitting, so definitely go ahead and add him. And I didn't list him here, but Tanner Jeannot could as well. He finally came back from injury and laid out 7 hits in his first game, so 2 good banger league guys there. Alex Nylander is really not my favorite option on my list here, but hey, they're really giving this guy a shot to succeed, and it's really nice seeing him play well. He's playing on the top line with Gaudreau and Boone Jenner, as well as the top power play in Columbus, so the opportunity is 100% there. And I don't hate the stream, especially if you're in a deep league, which you would be if you're picking him up. JJ Peterka is another guy that you can consider adding for those off nights in Buffalo. He is playing on a line right now with Dylan Cousins and is playing PP2. Usually has a bit of a floor with shots on goal as well. And if you need someone for those off nights, which you probably do, JJ Peterka definitely is as good of an ad as any. So then you got Carter Garland and Nils Höglander of the Vancouver Canucks. Both these guys are doing pretty well as of late. They're both playing on the top line, believe it or not, with Elias Pettersson. And as long as they keep that deployment, that's a good ad for you. And remember, Vancouver's one of only 2 teams this week that plays on 2 off nights, which is super, super valuable. Definitely 2 guys I like to be adding right now. Then I have Jordan Greenway and Zemgus Girgensons of the Buffalo Sabres, and both guys are kind of under the radar right now. But Greenway's a guy who tends to put a pretty safe floor night in and night out, especially if you have hits in your league. Greenway's playing currently on the second line with Jeff Skinner and Peyton Krebs. Obviously not the best line, but when Skinner goes off, Greenway could definitely have himself a good game. And even so, he should give himself a pretty safe floor night in and out. I do like Greenway a lot. He's a sneaky ad that I'm adding in quite a few leagues. Zemgus Girgensson is a sneaky ad as well, playing on the top line with Tage Thompson and Alex Tuck, doing pretty well as of late. And you need someone for those off nights, Wednesday and Friday. Girgensson should fill in for those nights super well. And last but not least, for the forwards, we got Pius Suter playing on the second line with JT Miller and Brock Besser. Obviously, that deployment is fantastic, and he did find success on that line earlier in the season. So if he can find that success once again, Pius Suter could be a sneaky good ad for those off nights this week. These are guys that as you can see, guys, the off nights are super important this week, and these are the low-owned guys that you should be adding. Let's take a look at the defenseman now, and first on the list is Zach Werenski, and I don't know why this guy's under 70% roster. The dude's an absolute stud, and he showed it last game, scoring, a couple goals and an assist, or vice versa. He is fantastic, guys, and he can single-handedly almost win you a week. That's how good of a defenseman he is, and he's definitely someone who needs to be added in more leagues, especially if you're weak on defenseman. Werenski is a must-add. Gostisbehere as well is playing very well right now on the top power play in Detroit. Obviously, I like Werenski more, but Gostisbehere is getting that top power play time, and he's producing. Neil Pionk is doing well too, putting up points, putting up some nice peripherals, giving himself a very, very nice floor every single night. Pionk's a good ad right now. Bowen Byram's another guy you can add for those off nights. You're probably full even on defensemen on those busy nights. Bowen Byram is someone who is getting top power play time, top line deployment with Rasmus Dahlin. He's definitely someone who could put up points and definitely a must add for this week if somehow he's still available. Thomas Chabot of the Ottawa Senators is a good ad as well. Came back from injury, immediately scored a goal and an assist. Definitely someone who's got a decent upside. And if he's available to you, definitely not a bad ad in terms of defenseman. Justin Falk is playing pretty well as of late as well. Came back from injury, looks like his old self again, putting up some nice peripherals, putting up points pretty frequently. Definitely a guy who you probably want on your team right now. Owen Power is someone that I literally never suggest because I don't love his fantasy upside this year or last year, but for those Buffalo off nights on Wednesday and Friday, he actually is probably one of the better ads to be adding, and he definitely could put up a point or two for you on those nights. Cam York is someone who's actually getting top power play time in Philadelphia right now, which he earned because he was playing super well. He's putting up points. He's actually putting up some decent peripherals to go along with it. Definitely a sneaky good ad right now. Timothy Liljegren of the Toronto Maple Leafs is actually seeing top power play time currently in Toronto. With Marner being injured, it kind of shook everything up, and Liljegren, at least for now, is seeing top power play time. It remains to be seen if Marner comes back soon. If he does, Liljegren probably gets kicked off, but for now, guys, definitely addable in deep leagues. And finally, Daniil Miromanov is still getting top power play time in Calgary and could make for a half-decent ad in very deep leagues where you're desperate for points. In terms of goalies, I'm going to be listing all of the fantasy goalies that I would even consider for this week. And the first one is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Yes, he's above what I normally list for goalies, but I have to reiterate how valuable Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is for these playoffs, guys. Especially as you can see, guys, the Buffalo off nights is going to be super, super huge. UPL is so valuable, and whoever has him has the best chance of winning your league, especially if it's a points-based league. Marc-Andre Fleury is someone who only starts 2 games this week because Minnesota only has 2 games, but I'm expecting him to get both starts because really they're riding Marc-Andre Fleury right now in Minnesota, so he's still not a bad ad because he should get 2 starts. Peter Kochetkov of the Carolina Hurricanes, 63% roster, is splitting time with Frederik Andersen, so he's going to be getting half the game. So if you want to guess which game he's going to be playing, do like Boston and rotate them completely evenly. 1 game on, 1 game off, 1 game on, 1 game off, because that seems like what they're doing. Logan Thompson may have played himself back into a time split in Las Vegas. Adin Hill hasn't been playing the best lately, so Logan Thompson came in, had himself a great night the last game he played, and Vegas also has a back-to-back set Monday and Tuesday, so if you can get the start on Monday, that'd be really, really big too, because you probably already have 2 goalies starting on Tuesday anyway, so that would be a really, really good ad, and he probably is going to get at least 1 more game as well, because right now, he's playing better than Adin Hill. Charlie Lindgren is getting every single start for Washington right now. Kemper is really getting nothing, and he's playing way better, so why would they give Kemper starts when they're trying to get into a playoff position? They're going to keep giving Lindgren those starts, and he's an excellent add. He was my Manscaped must-add player of the video last week, and if you picked him up, you're definitely not disappointed. Connor Ingram of the Arizona Coyotes is someone who seems to be possibly in a time split right now, but if he continues to play well, he may pull away a little bit and get a few more starts, but at least should get half the starts in Arizona. Casey DeSmith is going to be getting all of the starts in Vancouver until Demko comes back, and Demko definitely could be coming back this week. Just, stay tuned to the updates. Make sure you're keeping yourself updated, and when Demko's in, drop DeSmith, activate Demko if you are a Demko owner, or if you're not a Demko owner, drop DeSmith once Demko comes back. Samuel Ersson is the number one goalie in Philadelphia, should be getting all the starts there. Grubauer seems to be the guy now in Seattle. Decord played so bad the other night, so I'm expecting Grubauer to get the majority of the starts for Seattle, so that's definitely not a terrible add. John Gibson, the Ducks, like I said, have 4 games this week, so Gibson could realistically get 3 out of the 4. He's not going to play the back-to-back set, but definitely could see 3 starts this week. Definitely not a terrible add there. Peter Mrazek has been a god this year. He's been so good considering the bad team he's been on, and definitely could see all the starts for Chicago this week. Montembeault for Montreal should see the majority of the starts there. They are going to continue to give games to Caden Primo, but Montembeault is the guy in Montreal. And next is my Manscaped must-add player of the video, James Reimer. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code word FANTASYTIPPED at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code word FANTASYTIPPED. Nothing like a little spring cleaning in your pants. Now, why is James Reimer my Manscaped must-add player of the video? And guys, this is mostly for points-based leagues, because it seems like he's taking over the crease in Detroit. Lyon is playing incredibly bad hockey right now, and he's letting in so many goals. And Reimer, over his past few starts, has looked very good, and he's already confirmed to start the next game for Detroit. And they're going to be riding Reimer. They're going to be riding the hot hand because they're also desperate to stay in a playoff spot. And Washington, the Islanders, and even the Buffalo Sabres are sneaking up on them. So it's definitely important that they keep winning games. So they're going to be starting their goalie who's playing the best. And right now, that's James Reimer. If you're in a points-based league and you're needing a goalie right now, James Reimer might actually be the answer for you. If you're in a categories league, I probably wouldn't be adding James Reimer. This is really a must-add in points-based league if you're in needs for a goalie. Mackenzie Blackwood is the next guy on this list, and Mackenzie Blackwood seems to be getting close to coming back from his injury, so if he's back, I'm expecting him to get almost every start in San Jose since they did trade Kakkonen. And finally, Daniil Tarasov is splitting starts with Elvis Merzlikins, and you can expect about a 50-50 split, although they don't split like 1-1-1 like Boston or Carolina does. It's a little bit more unpredictable in Columbus. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. I want to wish you all the best of luck in your playoff matchups this week. And thanks for watching this channel, guys. Hope that I'm able to help you and get you through this week. Expect 2 more videos from me before the week starts, guys. One with tips on how to win the week and another one with drops. Good luck, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.